I'm out here in Ocotillo Wells at the Truckhaven testing ground, and today we're going to do some testing with Recon One, which is my bone stock 2021 Jeep Wrangler. We're going to do some measurements on this thing. We're going to get it flexy. We're going to see how it performs over some obstacles. We just want to know the baseline of capability of this Jeep, and then as we upgrade it, we'll bring it back here and we'll run these tests all over again. It's supposed to be 108 degrees out here, so if I'm drenched in sweat by the end of this video, you'll understand why. Let's get started. The first measurement we're going to take a look at is actually my fuel economy on the drive out here, because it's something I can easily replicate. So I started in Ramona, California, and I drove all the way out here to Ocotillo Wells, which is 75 miles, and I got 22.2 miles to the gallon. That's a little skewed because I went from high elevation all the way down here to sea level, but it's a number that we can easily reproduce. Next time I will fill up at the same gas station and drive to this exact spot as we put bigger tires in, lift and bumpers, and see how much that gas mileage drops along the way. Daily driving this thing, I'm getting around 19 to 20 miles per gallon, so it's not going to always be 22, but it'll be interesting to see, you know, by the time we go to 33s or 35s or 37s, how much that fuel economy comes down. And before we do the next test, I want to thank the sponsor of this video, which is Onyx Off-Road. Onyx Off-Road is a comprehensive navigation app that I use to plan, record, and share my routes. And if you want to come out here to Ocotillo Wells, there are all kinds of trails out here to explore where you can go deep into the mountains, into the canyons, and just have an incredible time out here in the desert exploring. And you've got all the information right at your hands, and you can download that stuff for offline use just in case you get in an area where there's no cell coverage. Onyx Off-Road is an excellent navigation app, and if you want to give it a try, I will leave a link down below where you can get 20% off. Huge thanks to Onyx. All right, let's do this first one. The first thing we're going to do is drive the Jeep up onto this articulation ramp that's out here. I got to be careful because I don't want to get too tippy, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 2 runs up this. We'll do one with the sway bars connected, and then we will manually disconnect the sway bar and see if we can get just a little bit higher. As we continue to put bigger tires and a new suspension on there, it'll be interesting to see how much higher we can get up this each and every time. But today, let's just get a baseline. All right, we are going to put this into 4 low, and come on, get in there. And then I think I'm just going to hold it into first gear. We're just going to slowly crawl up this until that rear tire starts to break free. And then we know that's the end of the test there. Yeah, so you can see that rear tire is breaking free. That didn't take long at all. Let's get out and get some measurements. I must say, I expected a little bit more, but I understand it's a stock Jeep and we don't have the sway bars disconnected, but I really thought I'd get a little bit higher before that rear tire came off. I'm not sure what the protocol is here. You can measure from the front of the tire, but I think what I'm going to do is measure from the center of the axle, because as we put bigger tires on, it's a little bit of a cheat, and where the center of the axle is going to give us true like flex. Actually didn't look up like the flex ramp rules. I'm sure there are some. So what I'm going to do is just eyeball this. It's a little off here, so I can't do like a straight up and down measurement like I would be able to do on a typical flex ramp, but that is. Okay, real quick guys, I got to interject here. It was a 2-hour drive home, and about halfway home I was scratching my head. I was like, Brad, why did you measure to the center of the hub and not just the center of the bottom of the tire? I don't know, maybe the sun was getting to me. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a little correction here. So from the center of the hub to the bottom of the center of the tire is 15.5 inches. So the measurements you're about to see, we're going to subtract 15.5 inches, and that will be the baseline number. And going forward, we'll measure to the base of the tire. That just makes a little more sense. Okay, back to the video. And I think you guys are really going to enjoy the rest of this stuff. That's about 34.5 inches from the ground. We're not we're not super scientific here, guys. We're just trying to get some raw numbers. So we're gonna go 34.5. Let's disconnect the sway bars. Let's see if we can climb up a little taller. One of the benefits of having the Rubicon edition is you just get on the dash and you push sway bar disconnect and it automatically does it for you. On this one, we've got two 18mm wrenches and we've got to do this ourselves, which honestly, there's some pros and cons to that because the standard Rubicon will actually reconnect if you go more than 18 miles an hour, where if we're cruising through the desert, we can have it disconnected the entire time, which is kind of convenient. All you need to do is just take out one bolt and then zip tie this up on the other side. And we're gonna get a little more dirty than we would just push the button on a dash. All right, get that bolt out, pop this up. We'll zip tie that guy right there. Done. All right, here we go, guys. Sway bar disconnected. See if we can get just a little bit higher. That'd be really nice. There it is, just a little spin. I gotta take it easy, I don't want to tip over, but man, look at the difference, guys. Wow. Come on, just disconnecting your sway bars, that's incredible. Let's get the tape measure and see where we're at. You know, I knew it was gonna get higher, but I thought, you know, like maybe right here. That's a lot higher than I expected. That's pretty impressive. It just goes to show you that it's really important to be able to disconnect your sway bar. So now, again, these are some pretty raw, non-scientific measurements, but yeah, I should have brought like a level and I could have figured that out. But guys, I'm gonna call that 43 inches. We went from 34.5 to 43 inches just by taking 5 minutes and disconnecting those sway bars. It'll be exciting to see how much higher we can get over the next coming months as this Jeep progresses. There's one thing though on the other side that I want to show you that is really important. So here is a great example of why a solid axle is a benefit when you're out rock crawling and in some good obstacles. So a few months ago, I was out here with my Toyota Land Cruiser, which has a front independent suspension. And I was able to get up the wall pretty good because it's got bigger tires and it's got a modified suspension. But my front passenger tire was just flopping in the wind. It was hanging way out there. This Jeep has a solid axle. And when that passenger tire is getting stuffed up way in there, the axle is acting as a lever and it's pressing down on the other tire, giving it traction for much longer. So even though both tires are in different places, they're both able to have traction. Now, eventually you could get to a point where that lifts up, but it's gonna hold it there for much longer, which is a huge asset when you're on the rocks, when you're on an obstacle, when you're in the ruts, to maintain traction in both tires. Yeah, that's super important. All right, let's go see what other trouble we can get into. There are lots and lots of difficult, challenging obstacles out here, like this one right here. You didn't really think we were gonna do that, did you? Not even when this thing is fully built am I doing that. That's nuts. This is the log jam. I think this is a little more Recon One speed right now. And I think just getting up and over that first one. Oh yeah, no problem. Oh, I did hit. I didn't think I was gonna hit. So there's a great example why you should never be overconfident, which in this situation I was. I thought, no problem, this is an easy one, we'll get right over it. And bam, I hit the frame rail right on that last one. That's why we're going to eventually lift this and put bigger tires on it. But in the meantime, we're going to see what it can do and what it can't do. And I've got to be careful. I need to get some armor under this thing before we really start getting after it. I've got to protect those differentials. So I need to put some diff covers on there, some more skid plates. I've got to pay attention to the exhaust, the drive shafts, all the things. I've got to be a little less confident and make sure that I'm taking care of Recon One. All right, let's go get into some more trouble. Up next is the little whoop-de-doos. And this is really a test of your breakover angle. And hopefully I have enough. I would hate to get high centered out here because I think I'm the only one out here, stupid enough to be out here when it's as hot as it is. Oh yeah, I think we got this, no problem. This next one looks like it's the steepest, but I think we got it. Oh yeah. Next up is Little Twister, and this is just a good series of ruts. And what I'm going to do is try it in two-wheel drive first and see how that goes. Then we'll do 4 high and 4 low, and this will just be a test of the traction control system, and we'll see how well that limited slip differential works. Plus we're getting some really good flex. I can already feel that. Definitely helps that we've got our sway bar disconnected. Oh yeah. We're in two-wheel drive, no problem. A little slippage there, little slippage. Ooh, I think we came off the ground. I think that tire came off the ground. All right, easy day. I think that's worth a run in the opposite direction. Maybe it'll be a little different. Let's see how she goes. See if we can do it with a little more speed this time. Yeah, go a little faster. All right, perfect. Look, right here was where we were slipping last time. No. I could kind of feel traction control kicking in. That was definitely smoother than the last one. Whew, it's hot out here, guys. The one thing I was really trying to test on that section was that limited slip differential. And if you're not familiar with that, it's something specific to the Willys edition. And what it is basically inside the differential, it's not an open diff where when one tire is losing traction, it sends all the power to that tire and the other tire has no power. That's not ideal when you're out here getting off camber and losing traction. So ideally you want a locker, which is you push a button and both tires turn evenly and they both have the same amount of power. A limited slip differential is kind of the in-between spot where there's a little bit of clutch and a spring inside the differential that keep that one tire from spinning too much and keeps a little bit more power to the other side, hence being a limited slip. I felt it a little bit when we were going through that section, but I just noticed as I was turning that you could kind of feel like the locker was on. I don't have a locker, and that's the sensation you get is like both tires, you're not getting that same rotation you'd get with an open diff where one tire is spinning faster and the other one's spinning slower. It felt like a locker was on. So there's definitely some good limited slip differential stuff happening in here. I don't know how much we're going to test it out here. I've got to be careful. Some of these obstacles would be fun, but I'm by myself and it's hot. All right, this is Tubular, and this is one I want to do today. I am a little apprehensive, if I'm being honest, because I don't want to get like turtled on here, which could happen. We're just going to take our time, go slow. I am 2 foot in this, just so I can modulate things a little better. But I do not want to get hung up. Right here is where I'm worried that we're going to hit. Oh, okay. Well, we cleared it, mostly. Come on, baby. Come on up. Clear that. Ooh, okay. Come on, get up that. I need that rear tire to come up. Scraping, grinding. All right, we made it through that. That was probably the part that I was worried about. We'll see how this is and how my departure angle is on this one. I do worry as we come off the backside of this that we're gonna crunch the muffler. Little scrape there on something. Oh, a little more scrape. Okay, we made it. That wasn't so bad. Next up, we got a pretty good steep hill climb and then a nice descent on the other side, and that'll give us a good kind of the seat of the pants feel for how the power and the gearing is as we're climbing up and coming down. So, ooh. All right, we're getting a little tire slippage there, guys. Let me back up here. The last thing you want to do is back up on a hill. That's never a good feeling. I don't want to dig myself into a hole. That'd be bad. Back down just a hair. A little too much sand, I think. And I'm not aired down, so that's on me. A little more driver. Come on. There we go. Come on, baby. You got it. You got it. You got it. You got it. Come on. Traction control is kicking in. The limited slip is kicking in. That's what we wanted to test. There we go. Nice. Very nice. I like that. Okay, that was fun. Now, I'm going to kind of test our low range going down. So we're going to go into 4 low, I hope. Come on, baby. Let's back up a little. Neutral. 4 high. There we go. Boy, you're being sticky. All right. So now that we're at 4 low, I'm going to put it in first gear, and let's just see how well it kind of crawls down. Now remember, we don't have a Rubicon transfer case, so we might have to brake this a little bit. I'm not using hill descent, although I do have hill descent control. Oh yeah, no, I'm already riding the brakes. Yeah, so first gear. I mean, you can feel the low range, but I'm so used to that 4-to-1 transfer case that I could, something like this, I could just take my foot off the brake. Foot's off the brake a little bit there, so you can see it's holding, but still a little faster than I would want to go coming down this, so it's good to know. That's a good test right there. One of the hardest things as an off-road filmmaker is trying to show how steep things are, and you're just going to have to take my word for it. That's pretty steep, and there's a lot of loose sand and a few ruts at the top, and that started to get us. Tires were slipping, and I could feel the traction control and that limited slip differential kick in, which was very, very nice and a little bit reassuring. Now, I'm not aired down, and that's on me because I'm only half a mile from the street, so I didn't bother to air down. Plus, having a little extra ground clearance is nice, and I think I will continue to do that as we upgrade. I'm not going to air down when I come out here and do these tests just to keep it even. Now, I want to go get a couple measurements, and I still want to check my approach and departure angle, because those are things that are going to change as we lift as well, and I think I found the perfect spot. Now, there are 4 measurements that I plan on tracking as this build evolves. One is the height at this rock rail at the center of the Jeep. 2 and 3 are the height of the wheel wells, front and rear, and then the differential in the front we're going to keep track of. When you add bigger tires, let's say we go from 32 to 33s, we should see a 1/2 inch rise in the vehicle. If we add a 2.5 inch lift, then we should see a 2.5 inch lift at the wheel wells in the center of the Jeep as well. That's not always the case, and so we'll keep measurements and we'll see. Did we go higher than the lift said? Did we go shorter than we expected with the tires? We'll find out, but right now, we just need a baseline. So, 16.5 at the center, that's our starting point. Rear, right at 37. The front, 36.5. And the front differential, 10.25. That's actually more than I expected. This time, we're going to use this rock waterfall to assess our approach and our departure angle. So I'm going to drive up to this and see what it looks like, and I'll come up a little bit. I'm not even going to try to attempt to climb over that because I know that would not go well, although someday we'll be able to hop up and over this. Then I'll flip the Jeep around and back up as far as I can. Something tells me we will probably scrape the exhaust, but we'll see how this goes. And this will, again, will just be a good reference point. We'll do this test over and over each time. All right, here we go. Let's hope we don't scrape. Oh, nice, very nice. See if we get the tires at least to the top. Yeah, no problem there. I think that's about it right there, because I think if we keep going further, we're gonna turtle on that thing. So let's flip around and see how the rear does. Let's see if we can get up there without scraping too much. Something tells me we're gonna hit. Oh yeah. Ah, I knew that was gonna happen, but yeah, that's it. Let's get out and take a look at that. Oh, you know what? That's all trailer hitch. I'm not mad about that, although I think we keep going. I don't know. If that trailer hitch wasn't there, I think we could make it all the way to the top. Ah, bummer. That's all right. At least we have now a good baseline. Well, it looks like trailer hitch and tow hook. I don't think we would have made it much further up. I'm really happy with how this has gone today. I've learned a few things, and it's taught me that there's some good capability in there and there's a few limitations. So we've tested it, we've measured it. Next, we're gonna go out on the trail, and for folks that have never off-roaded before, they're new to off-roading, the first time we hit the trail, we're really gonna start from ground zero and go all the way through the basics, just kind of taking it easy, go through a couple little obstacles and talk through it. That's the plan, because I want this to be educational. And then we're gonna take this in stock form on a little more challenging trail. It's gonna be a minute before we do some upgrades, but now we know our baseline, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please go over and check us out over at TrailRecon.com. We got all kinds of gear over there to outfit your vehicle for your next adventure. And until next time, safe travels.